Hi everybody, this is Dark Guardsman. We're back with another video. Now, I thought I'd take a break real quick from doing my AI research to kind of give you another progress update. Now, in yesterday's video of the progress update, I did forget a few things in regards to kind of the changes and stuff I've been making. For one, I completely, utterly forgot and ignored the red matter right here. I'm actually trying to find a test environment. But I forgot to mention that some of the fixes we actually did with the anti-missile system is I actually did solve anti-missiles shooting each other. This was not made clear, and this was something that actually was a problem, that when you fired several anti-missiles after each other, they would target each other and pretty much murder each other in the same way they would murder a normal missile. I think I'm being dragged slowly back to that if you notice the lag stutter and everything. Another thing is with the anti-missile system is that they were triggering the radar stations. This made it a additional problem because not only were the missiles kind of blowing up each other, they were then triggering the radar system, which then caused more anti-missile to fire, which then would continue to blow each other up and effectively waste through all your ammo. Those issues have been solved. I did make a comment in that video noting that those were issues solved. Additional to that, if we can actually get over here and maybe stop lagging a little bit, is that the chemical renders are now completed. In the previous video I didn't show this off, but the version I did have there wasn't exactly the greatest. I did actually work on this more today and actually get everything really nice and beautiful. It took a little bit of time of me recording the 1.7, the 1.5 version, comparing those videos, and then finally looking at the code and then replicating this. I also built up some simulation software to check the mathematics on this, and we'll show this off really quick here. So just like other videos, I went ahead and decided, you know what, let's look at the math in a much more in-depth view and make sure that the math we are using is appropriate. Now, of course, I did figure out the math we are using is not good, but I'm actually not going to change it because if you sit here and you watch it in game, it looks perfectly fine. We get a cloud of particles. It's not the greatest on frame rate. If you get too many of these going, you will lag out, but it spawns the particles. It'll scale over time, and it works. It gives you the impression of a cloud. Now, the problem that is with it, and you'll see this with the simulation software, is it produces a rectangle or a square on the system, yet it uses a circular-based radius on the actual detection and attack of entities. So this is something that will have to be worked on. I'll have to figure out exactly how I want to do that, if I want to stick to the radius, if I want to just leave it as a cube, or what I want to do. I know there are some major corrections I do want to make with the gas system for this. The first one is I want to make sure that it only will attack things in the air pockets actually in. So all the gas explosions, there's not just this one, there's the chemical, the defibrillation, and the contagious are all gas-based. I want to make sure those do air pockets, so what we'll do is we'll do a pathfinder for that, and it'll find all the blocks it can access, and I'll give some exceptions for certain blocks that it can seep through, and we'll make sure that it does work in a very intelligent and pretty much nice gameplay system that'll make it where building bunkers is actually good for fighting chemical missiles, because right now, if you were, say, on the other side of a wall, so if we actually built this up here, and we'll build a really quick example just to show this. So you say you hit a wall there, and let's place a sheep or a chicken or something down. Let's find the first spawn egg I can get. And mushroom cow will work. So if you had a cow there, and we fire this off right here, that cow is going to get hit and slowly die. So it doesn't matter the fact that there was a wall there. Now, given that wall would have to be pretty high and pretty big to stop the gas from leaking around the edges, but what I want to do is make sure that we actually build up a system that would air pocket. And of course, this will take a bit of work, as I'll probably have to change the particle system with it. Additional change I want to do with that is, if you notice how this scales up over time, that scaling up doesn't actually reflect on the attack distance. So as soon as this hits, it's going to start attacking everything, and it'll start damaging, applying potion effects, and killing them. So that's something I want to fix as well. The final fix on that one is actually make it the longer you sit in the explosive radius, the more damage you actually take. Right now, it'll apply a consistent potion effect to you, and you'll just take damage from that potion effect. But what I want to make it have happen is that if you're only exposed for a couple ticks, you don't really take any damage, but if you're sitting in it for a while, you'll absolutely be murdered by the gas cloud. So some changes on that, and of course this also carries over to the defibrillation and contagious, I believe. I don't know if the contagious actually does a render. I know that the defibrillation one does one though. Let's go ahead and find it really quickly. I've completely forgotten what tier it actually is. Let's grab the contagious while I'm at it, since I did find that one. There's defibrillation. So that one's got a gas cloud that works. Of course, it's got some potion effects, and then let's see if the contagious one's got one as well. and it's got a green cut. So those all work right now, so those are good. Very simple particle on that one. I did rewrite the particle from scratch and I simplified it compared to the 1.7 version. No real performance difference on the simplification, just means there's less code to maintain, so that works out really well. Another change I kind of forgot with yesterday's video is the repulsion and the attractive have been fixed. These were not actually doing the push code on them, it was just a really simple math error that was adjusted and corrected for. Let me go ahead and find some more entities for us to test here, because testing on myself is not exactly the easiest thing in the world. Let's do more mushroom cows. Might as well. Keep it with a theme today. So repulsive actually will work. It'll throw everything well. A little bit too powerful in my opinion, but it does get the job done. And let's grab the attractive. I kind of do want to work on both of these because I don't really like the way they behave. I kind of maybe want to turn off the block damage for both of them. I will definitely make it a config though. And that one works as well. You're definitely going to need a config for all of these. So those both work and they actually do function properly. What else did we fix? I did fix the scale in the GUIs if you can't tell that already. That's been fixed except for these guys. And the reason I have to fix those is I do need to fix the models on those still. So it's been fixed. Recipes have been started. So I'm actually finally getting to a point where I feel confident enough in the mod's functionality that I've implemented recipes. Right now the spikes in the concrete have recipes. You can see this by me just going ahead and grabbing a workbench out and showing the actual recipes in the book. So we do have recipes for these, so I can actually sit here and look at these and use them, and they do work. The reinforced concrete recipe has been made cheaper. You no longer need steel for this. That's just really done because there's no actual item for steel in the mod at the moment. Tooltips on all of the items have also been fixed as well. It's not as noticeable, but if we go through the creative tab and if some people have been paying attention, you'll notice that some of these had some pretty messed up tooltips. A few of these still need to be fixed and cleaned up and everything else, but they now properly handle. I've also fixed that the fact the tooltip on the signal disruptor was not implemented. This is not an item that has no function at the moment. I don't think I'm going to add it back anytime soon. There was a few other things that were worked on. There was some multi-block issues that were fixed in the working on code. I did figure out that I completely forgot to implement checks to make sure there was placement checks for the actual shape and size of this. The placement checks, interestingly, will let you do stupid things like this, by the way. So you can do stuff like that. It will not function, actually, but it is kind of cool that you can sit here and do this. It shows how well the code actually will work, so you can break this and place this back down. It's got a perfect check for that asymmetrical base shape, and it is rotation-based check, so if I rotate this way, it'll still work appropriately, and of course, just to prove that it is working, for those who may not actually care, it does not let you place. If you place it in the different direction where that block was impeding, it will let you place it that one because there's actually no blocks between those two tubes. If you, by the way, put a missile in there and go to fire it, the missile probably will explode inside the silo. I probably will add checks to prevent the missile from being placed if those are in the way, but I probably won't actually add blocks to those. Some additional changes that were actually made. Let's see what else we've got before I close this off. More tweaks to the cluster were actually done. Nothing really noticeable, just some minor tweaks on that. What else? Pretty much about it. A lot of the other stuff has really just been minor corrections and bug fixes. There was some multi-block crashes that were corrected. Some usage issues that were corrected. That's been about it, so I'll see you guys with another video here later when I actually get some more stuff done, and hopefully we'll get a mod release maybe this week if nothing else goes wrong and I have to delay even further. But definitely for sure we're finally going to probably get a release sometime this month for at least beta, because at this point recipes are being implemented. Once the recipes are done, I'll probably mark it as a beta and just say good enough for the moment, and you guys can test, and of course I'll stabilize.